just satisfaction. Push me, and then just high satisfaction. Push me, and then do I can get high satisfaction.
Voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go.
You're listening to the House of Cards on Facebook, YouTube, and BigPatriotRadio.com. All licenses for music and content have been purchased by and are for the express written use of the Big Patriot Radio networks. All information, opinions, and topics are for entertainment purposes and do not expressly represent the opinions of the show's host and or producer. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Locked and loaded.
Let's go.
Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. It is another Thursday night right here on Beaufort County's House of Cards. So great to have you in. Hey, it's 2026. Wow. Already into the second week. It's January 8th. I'm Mike Covert. I'm your host here at Beaufort County's House of Cards. Welcome in. We are coming to you live from the studios of Big Patriot Radio here in the great state of South Carolina. Let's see. We've got people on Facebook. We got people on YouTube. We've also got folks listening in on BigPatriotRadio.com from all across the country right now. So welcome wherever you are listening, and thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. Whether this is your first time or you're in, you've been here ever since we started this thing. Be sure, if you're on Facebook, be sure to like and follow. Same thing with YouTube. Like and subscribe, or follow and subscribe. Share the show. And hey, while you're at it, if you see up here in the corner, go ahead and take a picture of that QR code. That QR code will put Big Patriot Radio app on your phone. No charge. It's free. It'll come right on your phone. And you can listen to the best in blues, news, country pop, and classic rock 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 from anywhere in the world, except like 4 countries in the Middle East. They won't let us in there. But quite frankly, that's okay. That's okay. So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do it now. Seriously. Go ahead and click the QR code. And that way you'll have Big Patriot Radio and Beaufort County's House of Cards on Thursday nights, whenever you want, wherever you want. Just join us.
Let's go!
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
BigPatriotRadio.com.
We have a great show for you tonight around 7:40. Somewhere right around 7:40, we're going to have our good friend Sheila Romelling of Fresh Start Healing Heart. She's going to be coming back on live with us as January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. That's in June, and we are huge supporters of Fresh Start Healing Hearts. Their mission, we also support a lot of human trafficking groups and efforts to stop, to end, to have that as in the rearview mirror, human trafficking. All right, let's see. We're going to get to that around 7:40, but first, we don't usually get into a lot of national stuff just because you can get that anywhere, but at least we don't do that as in-depth as we do the local, regional, and state stuff. But over the last couple of weeks, and then especially yesterday's tragic events in Minneapolis, I think it's worth talking about. Chat, you folks out there, all you tuning in, we want to hear from you too. If you want to, this is not an echo chamber. You certainly don't have to agree with me. If you have something you want to say, put it in the chat bar, and we'll see it here, and we'll talk about it. But we are going to give you our opinion, so we don't sit here in silence looking at each other. But we'd love to hear from you nonetheless. Be sure to tell us where you're watching from when you do that. So yesterday in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was on a street, I believe it was Portland Street or Portland Avenue, in the city of Minneapolis, and had been doing what ICE does when their motorcade had stopped due to ice. Or rather, one of their vehicles got stuck in the snow/ice on this road or a side road or somewhere near. There was an intersection. Now, something that I wasn't totally aware of, as this has been all over the news, it is usual and customary for the detractors and protesters. What they had been doing, and what really started this was. They agitate these, we'll call them agitators. They agitate ICE, and they agitate people along where ICE is by driving behind them, driving around them, honking their horns, playing loud music, using bullhorns, anything to distract what's going on and to notify people, hey, ICE is in the neighborhood. We don't have that here where I live. So I haven't seen it, haven't dealt with it, but that's what I've learned. Learn something new every day. So as they stopped to get one of their vehicles out of the snow or the ice or whatever, the detractors, these agitators, approached. They approached, and one of the people happened to be the lady who was killed. In an SUV, turned and blocked the road. This SUV, reportedly driven by 37-year-old Renee Cook, originally from Colorado Springs, Colorado, had recently moved to Minneapolis, was behind the wheel. Cook had two children. Learned this today. She had two children with a man in Colorado Springs, but she divorced him. Married another guy, had a son with him, but he died in 2023. Then she left and went to Minneapolis and married a lady who she refers to as her wife, or referred to as her wife. So anyway, several reports are out there indicating that Renee Good, was a professional at agitating and was quote unquote used as a roadblocker. That was her thing. We all have our thing, our gig. Well, apparently that was her gig. I guess that was a specialty. I don't know. Anyway, ICE officers approached her vehicle, two from the left, one from the right, and one in the front, and demanded that she first move out of the way. She declined in several colorful words. And then they demanded she get out of the SUV. They continued to approach the SUV, and one officer tried to open the door. Here, I'll put this picture up. We got two pictures. You see down here at the bottom, this is where it says reality in the window. All right, so this is the driver's door, and I've got two. Let me blow that up here a little bit. Two red circles. One over the officer's left hand, one on the right hand, and you see that this left hand is in the window, and the right hand is on the door handle. Now, there's an officer behind him that you see there, and there's an officer with this red arrow pointing at his head. He is standing in front of the vehicle. Now, what some on, unfortunately, on the left have been showing is a snippet of this. They're showing the officer here that you see on the top where it says narrative with his weapon drawn at the side of the vehicle. Well, they didn't show this where he's in front of the vehicle. Anyway, at that time when this was going on, when there was officer's hand in the window and on the door, etc. Let me go ahead and put this back. Let's go over here. There we go. At that time, she began to back up. Okay. She backed up 1 to 2 feet, something like that. That officer was still on the left side. She began to move forward. When she did, she hit the officer above. Now, there's been a lot of, on the above picture, been a lot of controversy about that. Well, we happen to have a photo for you that we, let me find the, I want to make this bigger. I don't know how all of a sudden. Anyway, this is probably big on your screens, just not mine. So don't blow it up too much because it gets real grainy, but you see the red arrow that I have here. This is an arrow. This arrow is pointing to that officer standing in front of the SUV. The SUV, you can make it out, but it is difficult. It's very grainy. And the silver, like Suburban in front of her. This picture of this officer who's in front, this is from a still shot in a video where he is beginning to go sideways. He twists back like that. And this happens, bingo, just like that. Split second. So within a mere second or two, she hit the officer standing in front of her vehicle, backing him up on the ice, continuing to move forward. And again, this is in a split second. He does draw his duty weapon and fired into the vehicle's front windshield. Now, as you saw back on this picture, this does have the appearance. This is this top one. This is where after he had already shot through the window and it came, if you're holding the steering wheel like this, it came right through here. She was on the gas, presume she was dead, and kept on driving. The car didn't stop. The car kept on going until it eventually ran into like 50 yards or 75 yards away, ran into a telephone pole and another parked car. Now, there's a lot to unpack with that. Let me say, first of all, first and foremost, absolutely, this is tragic. You would have to have a heart of ice, no pun intended, to say that this is not tragic. Absolutely. Nobody got up yesterday thinking this is her last day on earth. Not at all. The officer had a split-second decision to make. And according to HSI and ICE duty manuals, if an officer feels that his or her life is in danger or death is at stake, they can use lethal force. Someone had talked to me earlier on Facebook and had that quote and completely turned it around, and that's okay. You believe what you want to believe. I understand what it says. My background understands what it says. He had the authority to do what he did. She hit him. Also, some people said, no, she didn't hit him. That's bullshit. That's a right-wing bullshit statement. She did. He went to the emergency room. He had 36 stitches put in his leg. She was hit. He's a big boy, but she hit him. After almost immediately, after more, law enforcement gets on the scene, and this This is like bang, 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 bang. And it was pretty damn quick. Obviously, the crowd began to swell by the minute. Watching this take place, I was amazed how many agitators were in the area, and they swarmed on this four-way intersection. So the scene was cordoned off by yellow tape but on all four sides of this scene. And it was like a residential city block. They say it was down the road a few blocks from where George Floyd was killed. It doesn't look remotely the same area. These are nice looking houses, but whatever. Portland and 34th, I think it was. Portland Avenue and 34th. So anyway, by the minute, the crowd got bigger and bigger. And, I'm not being off collar when I say that there were a few hundred within the next hour, like several hundred within the next hour or two. Not Beaufort County out on St. Helena, how the crowd estimates. Not that kind of several hundred. I'm talking realistic several hundred within the next hour or two. By the evening, by nightfall, that number at least doubled, probably tripled or quadrupled. The temperature of the crowd grew exponentially as the crowd grew, and it got hot. Hours later, when they had hauled off the last vehicle on rollbacks and whatever, they began to take down the tape. ICE was still there. That crowd immediately began to converge slowly behind them, and they got loud. That crowd followed the ICE agents and officers as they drove off, throwing snowballs, throwing rocks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, at the ICE agents and officers. Interestingly, already there were professional signs being carried, and a full-fledged event was underway. Now, what's the thing about the signs? I mean, this had happened, we're talking a mere few hours, and already there were professionally made signs. My gosh, I want to be a printer in Minneapolis because there must be great amount of work there. Anyway, as nightfall began, there was easily 1,000. It was, I looked at several streams, possibly a couple thousand. 2 city blocks, several intersections, people protesting. Now, the liberal left is getting the objective truth askew here. You know how I like to talk about objective versus subjective. They're getting it askew. And remember, truth is objective. It's not subjective. Now, they hate it when you remind them of this, but it is true. So here we go. Anyway, first, it's been proven through video that she hit the officer standing in front of her vehicle. He was taken to the hospital, released, again, had 36 stitches. She didn't see him, they'll say. Well, that's too bad. Maybe she shouldn't have been interfering with law enforcement. They were doing their job there. If you or I go out and run over somebody and say, well, I didn't see him, I didn't notice, that's too bad. Well, if she didn't see him, that's too bad. He was standing right in front of her. They don't have the right or the authority to be here, they say. Well, yes, they do. ICE, HSI, this is a federal law enforcement agency with a job to do to protect and defend the United States and the Constitution against a myriad of things, including illegal immigration, etc. Remember, to be here illegally is a crime. Remember, that is a crime. Don't forget, chat, we want to hear from you. Type away in your chat bar. Let us know your feelings on this, where you're watching from tonight. Don't be scared. And if you're not of my thinking, that's okay. I really want to hear from you. Let's talk. Let's talk. Anyway, she was murdered, they say. No, this was not a murder. Let's go back to, Merriam-Webster. Murder's defined as an unlawful killing of another by the presence of malice aforethought, meaning you have malice in your brain. You knew we're doing it. That is a murder. During all of this yesterday, eventually a press conference was held by the mayor of Minneapolis, a fellow by the name of Jacob Fry. During this presser, probably seen this already, Fry said eloquently, "I have a message for ICE. Get the F out of Minneapolis." Now, I'm not opposed to somebody cussing. Sometimes the emphasis is increased when you do that. And some media, some of them on the right have been saying, "Oh, how terrible, he used the F word." Well, I wouldn't go that far, because we do it too. So, but that's what he said. That's what he said. Hours after that, HSI Secretary Kristi Noem flew from Texas, I believe it was, to Minnesota after going to Texas that morning, and she held her own press release. She had a full-blown account of what happened and delivered that message uber professionally. No question. No question about it. She delivered the message of what happened. Stark contrast to U.S. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who went to social media today to say, and I quote, "Kristi Noem is a stone-cold liar." Again, it's unfortunate this happened, and I don't wish it upon anyone. You shouldn't. But maybe, don't put yourself in a bad situation and you won't get bad results. Hakeem Jeffries coming out calling the Secretary Secretary Noem a stone cold liar, that I have more of a problem with than the mayor saying get the F out. At least he's got a set of balls. I'll give him that. I think he's a jerk, but he's got a set of balls. In the end, Renee Good is dead. She's dead for wanting to protect dangerous gang members, illegal aliens, and fraudulent Somalians ever present in the Minneapolis area and their child care facilities with radical ideology. And not only that, but also making mistakes that cost her dearly. All right. Love to hear your comments on that as we are going along. Understand that just this evening, right before we came on the air, I don't know the background of this, but 2 people were shot in Portland, Oregon, of all places, by Border Patrol. Don't know the background, the history of it, but we see it going on the screen, so we'll get more information on that. All right, so what else has been going on since we were last live? Well, not to mention, I do wish everybody a Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I hope this season where we just passed was a fantastic one for you and your family. So what else has been going on? Well, Nicolas Maduro kept telling Donald Trump to come get me, you coward. And Trump just did that. Here is a picture of the former president of Venezuela, who is, by all accounts, not the real president of Venezuela. In handcuffs, he's in shackles, in a pretty gray tracksuit. They don't use blinders or a hood anymore. These are blacked out glasses, and he is strapped into the USS Iwo Jima there in the Caribbean. That whole issue surely got the hair up on the back of the neck of Democrats and socialists all over Washington and around the country. All of them in Washington freaked out that Trump and Trump's administration did not tell Congress about it. Now, why in the world would they not do that? Well, I'll tell you, the minute that they would go, hey, Hakeem and Speaker Johnson, hey, we're going to be launching a surgical strike blah, 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 blah. As soon as Hakeem put the phone down, he would have picked another one up and he'd have called Maduro. We all know this. Phone calls would have been streaming into Caracas from what I consider Democrat traitors. We all know it. It's no secret. Furthermore, what Trump initiated, in my opinion, and legal scholars that I've read their dissertations, and I understand some others have had other remarks. Trump initiated a surgical strike based on lawfully executed indictments from, by the way, as far back as the Biden administration. These indictments and warrants against Nicolas Maduro, his wife, and actually his son, Nicolas Maduro Guerra, they're fully executable. And the president of the United States has that right to do that. Well, Biden didn't do it. Biden didn't have a spine. You invaded Venezuela, they said. No, the U.S. did not invade Venezuela. No one has been invaded. There were CIA, FBI, DEA, and special forces involved. They went in, they got Maduro in less than 3 minutes and got out. One of the most successful surgical maneuvers ever, not to mention fastest surgical maneuvers ever. This is all because of oil, they say. Look, what drives the world's economy? What drives it? Ask yourself that. Was this about, and the answer to that is oil. That drives the world's economy, no matter where you are. Was this about oil? Well, this was about drug cartels. This was about American deaths. This was about oil driving the economy and about putting shackles on China, Iran, Russia, and Cuba. And if folks don't understand that, I don't know really what to tell you. That last statement about putting shackles on China, Iran, Russia, and Cuba is prophetic. That's a huge piece of this puzzle. We don't have the right to go into another country and take their president. What if they did that to us, they say? So this is, I've heard some say that this is, in my opinion, this is a real dingbat thing to say. Why? Well, first, no other country on the planet is going to try and do that. That would be a death warrant from the jump. Nobody's going to try to do that. And if an American is saying that, I question a lot of allegiances and things like that. Second of all, yes, we have that right in this hemisphere because of something called the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine? Yes, the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine is absolutely deliberate material. And all you got to do is do a Google search on the document. You can download and read the entire document from when it was written, not translated or whatever. People have asked, well, smart guy, what does it say then? I'm glad you asked. The Monroe Doctrine, articulated in 1823 by former President of the United States, James Monroe, was a U.S. policy warning European powers against further colonization or interference in the Western Hemisphere in exchange for U.S. non-interference in European affairs, establishing separate spheres of influence and asserting American dominance in the Americas, a principle later expanded to justify interventions. The Monroe Doctrine, it's a deal. The United States and Europe said, look, I'm not going to screw with you. I'm not going to screw with you. You don't come over here. We won't go over there. In the meantime, we're the king dog of this hemisphere, and we're going to make the rules. The doctrine allowed the United States to intervene militarily in Latin American countries to ensure, get this, stability and to protect U.S. interests. That is what the Monroe Doctrine said. It is still valid today. It is still a justifiable, reasonable, and articulated document that the world has to live by. We don't go over to Europe. Europe ain't going to come over here. And for us saying we're not going to do that, we're going to control this hemisphere and what happens in our interest. So anyway, Maduro and his wife were taken away in handcuffs and chains to the U.S. Iwo Jima. Then they were flown to New York City later that same day, flew around different parts of New York City, dropped off, put into a van, moved around somewhere, got on a helicopter, flown somewhere else. It was wild, man. Then they drove to the DEA headquarters, then got back in a helicopter, went somewhere else to Manhattan, got out and driven to the MDC, or the Metropolitan Detention Center. Very famous detention center. Diddy's there. Who else is there? I know he's the only one I know of is there. Oh, Luigi Mangione, the punk who shot the CEO of a health insurance network. No, not Chavez. The little drug kingpin. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Anyway, that escaped from somewhere. Teeny little guy. He was there. He's now in Colorado. Anyway, the Gambino brothers, all those guys, they've all been there at the MDC. That's where you go. Epstein, that's where he was. Anyway, Maduro spent the night and he hasn't checked out yet. He's on the very top floor. It's known as the SHU, or the Special Housing, or the Secure Housing Unit, which is also more commonly known as solitary confinement. Solitary confinement. He and his wife were arraigned the other day and will be there for the foreseeable future. Again, to those people who are in favor of this drug cartel king, dictator, oppressor of the Venezuelan people, and you live in the United States, it doesn't make sense how you can think that. How you could think Maduro is good when most of the folks that have been saying that were just in all these no kings press, or what do you call them, protests. If you're not in favor of kings, why would you be supporting a dictator, a king? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's the status of things happened while we were gone. It just never stops.
Everything that rocks is right here. Right here.
Let's rock.
With Big Patriot Radio.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, getting ready to bring on our guest. We have a comment from good friend Julianne. Good evening, Mike. Up in Waynesville, North Carolina. Hey, a beautiful, beautiful place there in North Carolina. Please explain why the U.S. hasn't used the Monroe Doctrine in Cuba. Well, I certainly don't want to be one to speak for the Trump administration or anybody in D.C. for that matter. But I will say, how do I want to say this? I got to be careful. But I usually tell it like it is. So if you haven't seen, go take a look or dig up, Google, Marco Rubio's several last conference calls or pressers. Same with President Trump, for that matter. Things are starting to, after Maduro was, captured, now they're starting to talk more about this. China better watch out. Russia better watch out. Iran better watch out. Cuba better watch out. And also Colombia. Well, if you notice, Taiwan, that whole China-Taiwan thing has really cooled off. Last I checked. I mean, extremely cooled off. Iran is in shambles. What, one city or two cities fell today. The place is a shitbox. The people are fighting against their government. It is going to completely collapse. Colombia, I heard what's the president's name? Berto or Petro? Petro's his name. I heard his bombastic comments, very similar to Maduro's "come and get me, you coward." I don't think he really means that. He's not that dumb, but they're on the watch. Anyway, I say all that because now Cuba is in a world of crap right now. They were propped up by Venezuela. Without Venezuela, Cuba is worse than they were. I mean, a new car there is a 1950 Chevy. That's how bad off they are in Cuba. I don't want to see the people of Cuba, beautiful people. I don't want to see them in any harm's way, but that country is going to quickly starve itself. I don't mean by food. I mean, they're quickly going to collapse. Why are they not using the Monroe Doctrine? I don't. That's a question for them. I appreciate it, but I think they are in another way. If that makes sense, you probably understand where I'm going. Excuse me. All right, we're going to bring in our guest right now, but thank you, Julianne, and soak up some of that clean mountain air in Waynesville. All right, our guest for tonight. She's appeared on the House of Cards before. She is one of the most sincere people I have ever met. Her mission, and she didn't tell me this, I just kind of took this off the cuff. Her mission is to end human trafficking, and she is doing wonderful things around stopping human trafficking and that whole effort. Truly a phenomenal person. Please join me in welcoming Sheila Romelling to the show. Hey, Sheila, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
Good. Long time no see. We've talked a couple of times. How was your Christmas and holidays, New Year's, all that?
It was peaceful. Usually we have a very large gathering, and this year it was about half of that. And sometimes that's nice as well as the large gathering. So it was a blessing. How about yours?
Mine was fantastic. We, for the first time in a couple of years, we had all 11 grandkids here at one time. And I think we finally got the house clean. So, but it was great. It's great seeing them, having them here. But gosh, they're all getting so much older, so much faster. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. How are things in the world of Fresh Start Healing Heart? Have you gone ahead and stomped out human trafficking? You need something else to do now?
Yeah, I truly wish. But unfortunately, though this is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, we're working it every day, every month. And for the past 10 years, we are now in 2026, we are now heading into our 11th year. And so it's one of those things. I see that you have on the screen that we are about to do one of our murder mysteries. It's a Wild Wild West murder mystery that we are going to do for our fundraiser, and that's February 28th. And you can purchase your tickets now on our freshstarthealingheart.org website. And last time we did this, we didn't do a fundraiser in 2025, but in 2024 we did. And it was geared towards the 80s. And it really was fun. I really think the neat thing about doing these kind of things is to help people hone in on their investigative skills to help us to find survivors of human trafficking. So though some may not think a murder mystery is a great idea, I do, because it helps people learn to work on investigation.
Now, is it going to be, tables of two, like, couples, or is everybody on their own trying to figure out who done it?
Everybody's actually got a part to play. When you purchase your tickets closer to the event, the team that is actually putting on the murder mystery itself will be handing out the information of who you'll be, or you'll receive it at the door. And then that way you kind of know what part you're playing in it. We do have limited seating to 100. And it'll be tables of 8. People can purchase a table and be able to have all their friends at the table. That's also at our website. It's for $440 for 8 seats at a table. And we will have our silent auction as well. We have many wonderful gifts from a year ago that we weren't able to use and that were donated for silent auction. And so we will be adding that in as well as a wonderful Western dinner, like back in the wild, wild west.
Wow. Wow. Teresa and I went to, the last one we went to was at Poseidon. And wow, what a wonderful time we had. I mean, that was, the food was great. The music was fantastic. The silent auction was just, those are all, they are what you make of them. And we had a ball doing that. And the best part was we got to break bread, share a meal with people of like minds, wanting to do what we can do to help end this horrible thing called human trafficking. In that, and we'll talk more about the dinner here in just a little bit, but in that vein, as far as human trafficking, are there new things coming about? Are there new technologies, or is it still the tried and true gumshoe type way of finding people, and et cetera?
Well, back in the day, I know we're a little older than some people that listen, but back in the day, you would find human trafficking through either the labor force, where they were working in sweatshops, things like that, or agricultural or construction. Now that has not changed. That is still happening, as well as in labor trafficking. It can be in all businesses now. It's just that easy for them to fraud people, use people, abuse people. So it can be in all forms for labor trafficking. The commercial sex industry, back in the day, you saw that in your strip clubs, hotels, low end, high end, or street corners. That hasn't changed. You see it a little less on street corners, except in bigger cities that have more like Vegas type stuff. But to forward to what we see today is a drastic change. It has increased exponentially with AI. And so now you don't just have social media being a big problem where, you used to protect your family from just your neighbors and, your town and your children from those at school or church or wherever. And I'm not saying these are bad places. I'm just saying that there's bad people everywhere.
Absolutely.
But now you're protecting them from 8 billion people around the world, with predators in every corner somewhere, all over the place. And the predators have learned not only how to use social media to come towards the children and come towards our families. I mean, because even some people, we have survivors we have that weren't trafficked until they were an adult. But now they're using AI to take your child, or your face even, Mike, put it on a naked, actual moving body, and then feed it back to the child. Now, I don't know about you, but I've lied to my parents when I was little. So if somebody fed this back to me, I'm sorry?
Only once I did.
Sure, Mike. Anyways, and so then they would feed it back to the child, and with threats. Now, if it was me and you fed back something that it was me, I'm talking, I'm walking, I'm performing, I'm going to be scared to death, because my parents are never going to believe that wasn't me. I've lied to them in the past. Well, this is what's happening often enough that now you've got kids running away, or they're being lured out of the home to do whatever they've been asked to do. They may find out that they have a brother or sister or a pet or something, or they're a single parent with them. And so the child's trying to protect whoever, or the young adult is trying to protect their children, whatever it might be. All it has to be is some vulnerability. And with social media, people posting all these children's photos and everything else, and posting good, bad, and ugly, that's when you are seeing them prey upon vulnerable people. And so we are seeing more and more, and there is more even in the police world, of showing that this is happening, and that kids are being put onto the web and everything else in the dark web, and it wasn't even them.
So I consider that would be we could be human trafficked and not even know it.
Exactly.
So the actual number of victims out there could be exponentially more than we even think. How do we, I guess most importantly would be how do we as parents, for those that have children in the home, what are ideas to protect them from an AI human traffic situation?
It's a great question. The biggest way is stop putting the photos online. Stop putting videos and photos of your family online. Instead, do it in a private group chat or something like that, or do it on your phone through a group chat on your phone, not in social media. Social media has become where they are just grabbing anything and everything. And so that's how they're doing that. The other is keep everything locked. Keep your Facebook locked. I can tell you as a business owner, yes, I have tons of people on my Facebook that I don't know. Mm-hmm. But for the average person, don't do that. Don't do that. Turn around and make sure that you're not only locked, but that the people you and your family friend are people you physically can touch. The same with your children. They shouldn't be able to friend anybody they can't physically touch. And then that they shouldn't be friending friends' friends, because this is how predators get in. They are going after children's friends that have less, what do you want to say? They're less watched. Yeah. Yep. And then they're getting in that way, because then they're saying, I'm so-and-so's friend, and they're pretending to be a child. That's the other thing they're doing with AI, is they're even using themselves as a younger person when really they're not. They may be 64 years old and they're talking to this person as if they're 9 or 10. And it's getting younger and younger and younger that they're going after. We know that through history, this has been going on, yes. And we know that babies and children have been sought for in the past, but it's increasing, and it's sad. It's very sick.
So in my mind, listening to this, to me, I look at that as the human trafficking problem with the forthcoming of this AI based trafficking has even gotten tragically worse. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't think you could even say how many people are victims if you don't know. I mean, that's pretty scary. So let's go back to what I'm going to call the conventional, or the old way of thinking of human trafficking. The common thought of a girl gets taken and shipped off and she's put into like sex slavery, that kind of trafficking. Mm-hmm. I know what the rates were like in this area: Chatham, Beaufort, Jasper, Colleton, this part of the area. I know what they were 2 years ago. Is that getting any better, or is that getting worse because we're getting bigger?
Well, I can tell you that usually the numbers go up, and that's because there's more awareness. And with more awareness, more people are able to make calls and report things. Even if it may not be actual, there's more reporting going on. But we're also looking at one of the vulnerabilities is when income is not, our income is not matching what's going on in inflation. And so people are getting tighter and tighter. And then you see a lot more human trafficking going on, whether it being cutting funds for labor, and so they're now labor trafficking, or the commercial sex where families are selling family members. And that's South Carolina. That's the number one thing here in South Carolina is familial trafficking. Across the nation, it's a blend between the familia and the association. They knew the person somehow or met the person somehow. It's sad, but it just keeps increasing because of the fact that we have more people here and we have more vulnerability going on currently.
So tell everybody about the, Fresh Start Healing Heart. and what the organization does trying to find people, and or once you found one, if you a person, a trafficked individual, what happens to them after you are able to put your arms around them and save them?
Well, we have survivors come to us in multiple different ways. We do community education. There's actually an event coming up shortly here that is the Savannah Traffic Jam, which we've taken part in as well for the past 10 years. They're on their 11th now. That will be on January 24th, and that's open to the public, free. If you go to the Savannah Interagency Diversity Council website and just let them know that you're coming, more or less you need to reserve a spot. They'll even have lunch for you, but that's an all-day event of education. We will be part of that. We will also be part of the Low Country Human Trafficking Task Force education that will happen on the 26th at 10 o'clock in Hardyville at the, oh my goodness, what's the center? It's their community center.
Okay.
That's where that one will be. And we do all kinds of things like that. We're constantly doing education out in the public because survivors don't self-identify. They don't stand up and say, hey, help me, I'm being trafficked.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way. And so we have survivors come to us through educated citizens, through employers, from churches, hospitals, law enforcement, social services, other organizations that do the same thing we do, domestic violence shelters, other shelters, homeless shelters. We've had them come from all different ways. We've even had a couple come to us that knew they had been trafficked and now wanted to volunteer with us as they found us. Yeah. And as we got to know them better and let them know that our services were free to them, they actually took the counseling that they had never had. So it's been a blessing to watch them come in any form. And then we watch them start working through addictions. And we're talking addictions of all kinds. Anything from technology addictions, money addictions, because they didn't have it. Now they're like, all the way to drug addictions, alcohol addictions, sex addictions, porn addiction, you name it, multiple addictions. We watch them overcome that. We've walked beside them during their counseling services and started to watch the brain unfold and starting to heal and recognize how this all happened. And many of them do not see themselves as victims. They see themselves filled with shame and guilt that they put themselves in this position.
Yeah,
or that they even allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
But as the healing happens, they start to recognize that no, that person duped them or didn't have any right to do what they did.
Right.
And I've always said if someone is running butt naked down the road, nobody has the right to do anything to that person that would violate them. And so even if somebody's vulnerable, nobody has the right. And here we are. And so we love on them as much as we can, or as much as they'll allow us to. And when I say love on them, I know that can be taken incorrectly, especially with what they've gone through. Right. So we keep healthy boundaries to let them know that we are here for them. And no matter what they've done right or done wrong in their life, we're not here to judge that. We've all messed up. We're all hot messes. I will clearly state I'm a hot mess. And all I'm doing is trying to help lead and guide them where they can get help to heal and start mending. Because I can tell you, I get a lot of people coming up to me saying, Sheila, why do we not see hardly any convictions? Well, you don't, because according to our Constitution, you have to be able to face your accuser. Right. And survivors don't do that. Until they've gotten a lot of healing, they don't want to face anybody.
Right. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I remember meeting, I don't want to use her name, but a young lady who now I believe moved away from here, that was close to you. And what you're saying, that I remember her saying, it was my fault. I thought it was my fault. And, then I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want nobody to get too close. And it's, God bless you for what you do. The whole thing is it's just horrible. I put up, I hopefully you can see it on the screen, the poster, so to speak, for the Savannah traffic jam that you were talking about. Now I want to ask, when I was looking at this, it appears to me that Friday, the 23rd, that's for police officers. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So the general public to learn what are they gonna it's 9 to 2. That's a pretty good amount of time. But what are they going to be exposed to in this?
So what happens at the Savannah Traffic Jam is every year the format is there are all these different vendors. We usually have a table there to let people know who we are, what we do, how they can get involved, or how we can help somebody. There's all these collaborating organizations that are there to hand out information, as well as your states and the federal. Then the event itself, you will hear that one's in Georgia. So that one is going to go over all of Georgia. So they're going to talk about the things they're seeing in Georgia. They're going to talk about the numbers that they see in Georgia, as well as they're going to also educate you on what is human trafficking and really kind of get down to the nitty gritty of what it is and how it looks in Georgia, which I'll be honest with you, it doesn't look any different anywhere else.
Right.
And plus traffickers they don't go by state boundaries and stuff.
No boundaries.
No.
And
so, and then there will also be, a survivor that will speak. They have one every year that will speak. This year, the survivor that's speaking this year, she's actually from South Carolina. And Heather is a wonderful, wonderful lady, and doing a lot of help up in the Columbia area to help fight human trafficking as well as legislation. And so she will be speaking. And then also there will be a panel. I will be on that panel this time. And that panel will go over the different organizations, what we do, how we do it. I believe there will be some questions. There will be a free lunch for those who register. So then they do provide lunch. And then from there, they will also, usually they have some kind of a large organization come in and talk about what they have done to help fix the problems. And so one year they actually had the airlines come in and talk about how they have been training the stewardess and all of that on how to recognize a situation and what to do with that. And so there's a lot of great information. I've loved this event. We've taken part with this event since they started and we started at about the same time. And so it's been a really, really wonderful journey to do that. And I really recommend everybody go to it, because no matter what state you're in, it's going to give you great, great information and education.
So folks that are watching, take out your cell phone and take a picture, blow your screen up there and take a picture of that QR code. And while you're doing it, go ahead and have your significant other write down January 24th, 9 to 2, no cost, free lunch at the Savannah State University Student Union Building. You won't be able to miss it when you pull in off of, I believe that's President Street. This the 11th annual traffic jam, Savannah Traffic Jam. Now, Sheila, let me with what Fresh Start Healing Heart does, it costs money. I mean, to do what you do, you have to rely on whether it's donors or the fundraisers. I think I know you have at least one. I think you have two. Is it one or two thrift stores?
Yes, we have 2 secondhand stores. We started the one in Estill out in Hampton County, South Carolina, 5 years ago. And then about a year and a half ago, we started one in Ridgeland, Jasper County in Ridgeland, South Carolina. And so those are part of our funding. And I would say almost a main part of our funding, but what those stores do are multiple things, actually. We not only get incredibly wonderful donations from people all over that we're able to give back to the community wonderful things at really affordable prices. But that funding not only helps us, but it also helps us to the survivors. We can give them an apprenticeship for either retail management, or small business ownership. And we let them walk beside us and learn what they want to learn in order to have job experience. So I'm a firm believer in apprenticeship. I always have been. So that's just one of the things that I do. I even collaborate with other business owners to help give them jobs, things like that. Yeah. But we also pay them. We don't pay any of the volunteers. We're all volunteers. We pay them so that they are able to save up, move out, because we use a host family model for our program. We are currently looking for land if anybody would like to donate some land. But we are currently looking for land for housing. But we do a host family model. So we put one survivor per family and help them to be there for them. So they're not alone in their journey, as well as all of the mentors that work with us. And so they're able to save up. We've seen them get their first car ever. We've actually helped them learn to drive and get their own license for once.
That's got to be awesome. That's got to be awesome.
So, and be able to move into their own place.
Yeah. The thing about the thrift or the secondhand thrift stores, whatever, there's also a public benefit, because the folks in the Estill area, or the other stores in Ridgeland, right?
Yes.
So in the Ridgeland into Hampton County, the public benefit is, you're right. Those are some awesome things that people are donating, and the people who, they may not be able to afford, things aren't getting any cheaper. So the public benefit is, you're helping, we helping you help other people, I guess is where we're going.
Yes.
So, but let's get back to the big thing that I'm going to call it, is the murder mystery dinner. That, you said 100, is it 100 table settings is the max?
100 people. Yes. We've cut it at 100.
Folks, how many, do you know how many, this is extremely early for me to even say this, but do you know how many tickets are sold already?
I haven't been able to look at that, but I can tell you I've already sold a table.
There you go. Well, that means something, because we're, just a few days into it, and we're less, just a little bit more than a month away. Folks, this is, if you're looking for something, something to do with your partner, with your spouse, with whatever, your friend, that is a lot of fun, B, for an incredibly good cause, and you will have a good time. I can guarantee you're going to have a good time. Think about this. It's only $55 a person. And where is this going to be at again, Sheila?
It's going to be at the Sequence Ballroom in Bluffton.
And folks, you can't miss that. That's right on 278.
Yes.
Right there in mid, 278 is a blur, but it's not far from Belfair. What is that? Where Moss Creek. It's right in there. It's on the same side of the road as Lowe's.
Yeah.
It's not far from Lowe's, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And you say the dinner is going to be a Western theme. Can you give me a hint? Like, is that going to be like a tomahawk steak?
No.
Or is it a pot of beans, which is okay too.
Yeah. No, we are still working on. How do you say it? I have Corner Perk, who is helping to do the meal. Good. And so Good far people. We have collaborated on a few things. They're looking into it, but it's definitely going to be, you'll have a couple of choices of a meat. And then we're looking at like cornbread and types of bean things, stuff like that they used to eat back then. And I have to tell you, I wanted to surprise everybody, but maybe I'll tell you this. But in the Wild West, when they're sitting around the fire, they've got the cattle grazing out there, and they're sitting there waiting to, get their slop, I call it, to eat. They had to eat it in some kind of, bowl or dish or whatever. So everybody gets a pie tin for their plate.
That's awesome. Maybe I'll roll up in there in a cowboy hat and cowboy boots and put some spurs on.
There you go. There you go. Well, I'll be dressed up, that's for sure. But I am a country girl. I was raised on a farm, but I will be dressed up for it. And we will have a picture wall so that you can get great pictures with your friends and family in your Western attire. And we're just really going to have a good time. And there will be a few giveaways.
Awesome. And that is February 28th, 4 to 7 p.m. At the Sequins Ballroom. Folks, start the year off right and do something for yourself, do something for somebody else. And believe me, the folks that, these victims, they need this, and they will be forever grateful. You may not ever see their face. And sometimes that's even best. But Sheila can tell you, these people will be immensely forever grateful for you helping them out. So I can't say enough about you, my dear. You are an angel to these folks. Thank you so much for inviting us. We're going to be there, and I'm going to have this your poster on the show every week, and hopefully get those. I want to hear from you that man, we're sold out, Mike. Take that poster down.
I look forward to that. I just wanted to say one last thing to the viewers and the listeners out there. We aren't just changing one life. Even if our numbers aren't huge, and they are and they aren't. We've touched the lives of 46. We've housed 22. We are still working with 7 to 10 right at the moment. We keep in touch with about 14 to 16. Wow. And this is male, female, children 13 to 60, but you're touching generations. Yeah. And how that happens is many of them come in with children or brothers and sisters that have been deeply affected, or family members that have been deeply affected. And we're watching as they heal and as they grow and as they, I say, go back to the way God intended them to be, not how they were traumatized. You start to watch them not only flourish and dream, but you watch how they affect their family and friends again. And you watch how they start to trickle that to their children. And we've already seen 8 babies born. We've already helped the community here in the Low Country has already helped to furnish 8 or 9 homes for these families. Wow. And so it's generations we're touching. And when one person's hurting, a community is hurting. I don't know about you, Mike, but when one of my family members is upset, the whole house is upset.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing in school. It's the same thing in a workplace. Yeah. It's the same thing when you go shopping. You can always tell when someone's having a bad day. That's right. And so it matters for people to find healing. And that's what we're trying to help them do.
That's what she's all about. Fresh start, healing heart. Sheila, thank you so much. And as always, you are always welcome here. And we look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. All right. It is 10 minutes after the top of the hour.
Locked and loaded. Let's go. Big Patriot Radio. Blues, news, country pop, and classic rock.
All right, 2 more stories. And don't forget, folks, again, that's February 28th, 4 to 7 p.m. at Sequins Ballroom. It's $55 a person. Hey, you in a business? Go ahead and buy a table of 8 for $400. I think it was $400, something like that. Doesn't matter. Holler at them at Fresh Start Healing Heart. That's freshstarthealingheart.org. You see it on your screen there. Get those tickets. It's a Western murder mystery dinner. It's going to be an awesome time. Don't miss out. All right, 2 more stories, both very important. First, we have talked on here and shown you the receipts, how the Beaufort County education system appears to be 2-tiered. One system for, I'm going to call it what it is, one system for white kids that is prosperous, and one system for black kids that's failing. That just is what it is. We showed you the receipts from the Department of Education about it. We asked for and were given. We asked for this way back, and the folks that put this together, I don't want to say names, but you know who you are. I appreciate you. Sent me, went out and did that digging. I wanted to add Latino Hispanic students to get a full picture of the demographics of the county education system. They did that. So let's take a look. I want to pull up these exhibits. Let's see where they are. Where are they, Mike? Where are they? Bear with me just a second. I know they're here somewhere. I know they're here. I just had them. Tony, what on earth did I do with them? There we go. All right. And let's go and share this. And share screen. Boom, boom, boom. All right. What I'm pulling up here is they're calling it Exhibit T, the first page. If you can't see it, blow your screen up. If you want this, I'll be glad to send it to you. Just shoot me an email. Exhibit T. The question is, how do Beaufort County School District subgroups of students compare in the 2025 algebra scoring metrics when analyzing the percentage of students that perform at the ABC, which is meet and exceed, or not meet, D and F, achieve a letter grade of B, or achieve a letter grade of A when compared to the state? What does all that mean? We're going to compare ABCs to the state, D's and F's to the state, B's to the state, and then A's only to the state. Beaufort County, 44% of the students in the county have ABCs in algebra. The state, 53%. We're 9% less. D's and F's, the state is at 46.9%. Beaufort County is at 53.95%. That's, again, another 9%. We're behind. We're worse than the state. B's only. Excuse me. The state is at 16%. Beaufort County at 14.5%. That's 1.5% to the bad. Excuse me. All A's. Beaufort or the state is at 14.43%, and Beaufort County is at 11.8%. That is almost 3% less or worse than the state. What does that mean? That means the state outperformed Beaufort County School District's all students category. They tested in 4 out of the 4 letter grade metrics. Moving on, comparison W. Now we're going to look at white students. ABCs, the state is at 65%. Beaufort is at 67.9%. Beaufort County's white students score higher than the state by 2.5%. D's and F's, the state is at 34.5%. Beaufort County is at 32%. We are the white students are 2.47% less likely to score D's and F's than the state. All B's, we are 2%, we being Beaufort County, 2% to the better than the state. And all A's, we are 1% better than the state. What does that data mean? That means that Beaufort County School District outperformed the state in the white students category of these 4 out of 4 grade metrics. Let's keep going. Hispanic Latino. Again, algebra 2025. The state scoring ABCs is 46.1%. Beaufort County's Hispanic Latino only scoring 36%. That's a 10% drop, or we are 10% less, our Hispanic and Latino students, to score ABCs than the state. D's and F's, again, ironically, 10% more likely to score D's and F's in Beaufort County than the state are Hispanic and Latino. All B's, the state 13.5%, Beaufort 10.5%. That's a 3% difference. Beaufort County Hispanic and Latino students are 3% less likely to have all A's or B's compared to the state. And speaking of all A's, the state Hispanic and Latino numbers are 9.67%, Beaufort 5.56%. 9%. That's 4% less. What does that data show us? That shows us that the state Hispanic and Latino students outperform Beaufort County's Hispanic and Latino students in 4 of the 4 letter grade metrics in comparison. All right, the last one, African American category. Again, 2025 algebra. The state African American children scoring ABCs is 37.5%. Beaufort County, 10% less, just at 28%. The state is outperforming Beaufort County African American students. D's and F's, the state African American students, 62.46%, which is bad. But Beaufort County, our African American students are likely to score 71.2%. That's 10% worse than the state in the D and F category. All B's, African American students across the state, 10.6%. Beaufort County, only 8.9%. That's about 2% less likely to score B's are African American students in Beaufort County. Almost same as the A's category. The state, 4.8% of the state's African American students will score all A's. Meanwhile, Beaufort, and this is actually worse than the B's, only 2.29%. That is right at 3%. Data analysis, what does all that mean? The state African American children outperform Beaufort County School District African American children in all 4 of the grade metrics. So what does all this conclude at the end of the day? That conclusion is right here. The first one, a Beaufort County School District African American student is 50% likely, or 1 in 2, 50% likely to score an A on the algebra EOCEP than all the African American students in South Carolina. We're 50% less likely to. A Beaufort County African American student is only 25% likely to score an A as opposed to the state. And then 1 in 11 Beaufort County African American students is as likely to score an A than their white counterpart. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Only 1 in 11. 1 in 11 black children in our school system are likely to score an A outperforming a white student. What does all this mean? Well, I mean, I just told you, but let's simplify it. Let's simplify it. This has the appearance of a defined, a definite, 2-tiered education system. I mean, I can't put it in any clearer terms. The folks, the gentleman who did the research on this, and this is from the state. It's not eschewed from the county. It's not eschewed from some civic organization or some biased organization. It came from the state. It's clear. Now, do I think it's planned in some kind of nefarious scheme? No. No, I do not. But is it happening? Absolutely. Yes, it's absolutely happening. Black and brown, Hispanic, Latino children, they're getting taught something different because they're not passing in numbers equal to white students. You tell me why, Beaufort County. Why? Why is the superintendent or the school district not doing anything about it? Or if you have been, what is it? Because it ain't working. What is the school board going to be doing about it? If you've been doing something, tell us, because it ain't working. Why hasn't anything been done about it? And again, if it has been, what is it? And why is it not working? That should be sounded off from the top of the mountains. Why are the black, brown, Latino, Hispanic students scoring so poorly against white students in Beaufort County? All right, last story. I told you several weeks ago about a resolution the Beaufort County GOP was voting on to essentially remove David Pasco from being able to be on the ballot here in Beaufort County. This resolution, by the way, did pass. They voted online, and then they had their meeting, 12 people present. I don't know how all that works, but they took the votes previously but announced them later. Very weird. Anyway, so why is this? The leadership is calling this their attempt to close the primaries. Now, while I agree with that, I think our primaries should be closed. What does that mean? That means Democrat people, me and you, the people who do the voting, can't say, all right, well, I typically vote Democrat, but I'm going to go vote in that Republican primary or whatever because I know my guy's going to win, and I don't want your guy to have any chance, kind of a stacking the deck, if you will. This is not the way to do that by limiting someone. So the original resolution that they had proposed had Pasco's name on it. Now, it's been removed. The chairman and I had a very short conversation about this. What's the big deal in all this? Well, Pasco was a Democrat at one time when he is the solicitor of the 1st District. Now, he denounced his membership, but he's really, you're not a member of a party you don't have to vote by party in South Carolina. It's very, it's a misnomer. And to say you're registered, I'm a registered Republican. No, you're not in South Carolina. Anyway, he denounced that and said, I'm gonna play on the Republican side of things, and he's running for the Attorney General. Hey, look, folks, I'm gonna be real with you. This same strategy, it's done. This movement, it's a strategic movement. It's done everywhere in this state. It's done from the coroner's office to the governor's office, and everybody does this when it's needed. Jasper County most recently saw this happen in the last few years. This is a strategy to use when you're a politician. You strategize this way when your electorate changes the makeup. When that makeup changes, you got to change with it if you want to be elected. Years ago, here's an example. Years ago, I'm talking 10 years and further. If you were a Republican in Jasper County and you wanted to run for office, you had about a snowball's chance in hell of winning. So there are people who are conservative-minded would run as a Democrat because that's the only way they could get elected. That's the game. Okay. So closing the primaries and not allowing, let me back up a minute. What this is doing, what the Beaufort County GOP is doing, is not allowing David Pasco to be on the ballot because he voted Democrat in the last election or whatever. That's the real thing. Now, I spoke to the chairman, and this is some kind of communistic twist here. The chairman of I spoke to the chairman of the Dorchester County GOP. Dorchester County, Somerville, up that way. And I told him about this move by Beaufort County. He told me point blank, this is a bad move, and he doesn't agree with it. And he said, neither does Dorchester County. When I explained that our chairman, Kevin Henley, advised me personally in a conversation, it was over email, that this resolution is the basis of what the state party is going to be doing, the Dorchester chair simply laughed in his response to me and said, no, that's not true. So what does this mean for the voter in Beaufort County? This means, once again, Beaufort County's GOP, the county party, is limiting who you, the voter, can listen to and hear from because it doesn't fit their agenda. That's right. David Pasco won't be at any county GOP meetings giving you his spiel of why you should vote for him. He won't be on the ballot. They're limiting your access to him. This is just wrong. Now, this is no ad for David Pasco. I mean, I know him, and we've talked over chat or text, but this is just wrong. This is not an ad supporting him. This is just wrong. Here's another example. Beaufort County didn't feel so bad, nor did they stop Anna Tabernick, who was a registered Democrat and voting Democrat in Ohio before moving to South Carolina, and even didn't vote in the first year that she was here. They let her on the ticket, and now she's a councilwoman. Why? Does she bow to their wishes and lick the heels of the boots of masters? Yeah, she does. That's right. She licks the heels of the masters. You lick the boots, you lick their heels, you lick their windows. They anoint you with the party's blessing. Do you, the people of Beaufort County and any other county, do you want a county council representative who does the bidding of the party, but not you? That's the real story. Towns and municipalities, they're largely, I believe, nonpartisan, which is bullshit. They're nonpartisan. School board, nonpartisan. That should be partisan, if anything. But do you want someone who's voting in your interest to vote the way the party tells them, or what you want? Everything you see on TV as of the last several years, you should be saying, I don't want the party dictating my vote. That doesn't make sense. That's what you have in Anna-Tabernick. I mean, we've got to stop this insanity in Beaufort County and in other counties that this is happening. This has got to stop. We need to send people like Anna-Tabernick, Alice Howard, Joe Passament, Larry McCullen, all pretend Republicans in my book. We need to send them home. Send them home and vote someone in who will represent you. And I don't mean by them all the time. Someone needs to be in their spot who's going to represent your wishes, not the party's wishes. And if they fail, whoever they are that replace them, send their ass home too. Get somebody else. You just rinse and repeat. I'm ready for that change in Beaufort County. I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that? Let me know. Send me an email at bigpatriotradio@gmail.com. Let's see if I have that. There it is, bigpatriotradio@gmail.com. I don't know why there's a timer on this thing now. I think that's going to stay now. Okay. Anyway, send me an email at bigpatriotradio@gmail.com if you're ready to stop this nonsense and help make these changes. I'm ready. I'm ready to make these changes. If you're ready, send me an email. Let me know. All right. That's going to do it for us tonight here on Beaufort County's House of Cards. We'll be back next week. Next week at 7 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, and simulcasting live on BigPatriotRadio.com. We have some pretty wild stories we're working on, so please stay tuned. Please don't forget to like and share this stream and click the notification bell on YouTube. If you can, help support the channel by sending us some stars on Facebook. And again, remember, I'm going to say it again, like and share this show. Again, we got some big stories coming up. Senator Tom Davis, he's going to be on here in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for Senator Tom Davis on the 22nd. As the General Assembly in South Carolina is going to be getting back underway, we've got two bills Senator Davis is going to mainly and I talk about that has to do with specific water usage by data centers and the cooling of data centers in South Carolina. You're not going to want to miss that. Data centers, a big topic. Senator Davis and I, hey Leon, Senator Davis and I are going to talk about the cooling and the water and the misnomers that people have been told. Until then, be safe and watch yourself. Good night, everybody.
Push me, and then just satisfaction. Push me, and then just satisfaction. Push me, and then so I can get satisfaction.
sleep, but the voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go. I know I should sleep, but the voices in my head go.